Welcome to the Pop-Off with Gene FitzMagic and friends. Your daily sports and entertainment radio show, live all over the world. You're going to want to hear what these guys have to say. With their hot takes, recaps, previews, and predictions, sometimes these guys might get along, but most times, they won't. So see what happens when these guys pop off about the world of sports and entertainment.
What's up, everybody? It is the Pop-Off. It is Tuesday. Well, Tuesday. I'm off. It's Thursday. Where's my brain? It's Thursday. It's the Pop-Off. I'm Gene FitzMagic, joined with me Nigel Downer. Caleeb Pinkett will be joining us in a little bit. He's a little late. Is that a Minnesota Twins hat?
Yeah, but you know what the colorway is?
No, yeah, that threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, bro. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shout out to the movie. It's dropping today. National is what I'm talking about. So I got the Minnesota Twins in the look at that Michelangelo colorway. Nice. M for Michelangelo. Got that nice side patch right there.
The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. Who remembers that?
Yeah. Whoops. There you go.
Is that it's hard to see it in the camera. Is that green on the M?
Yep. You got a nice like neon green on the inside. Yeah, on the inside, and then you got the outline of the orange. Nice, not a crazy bright orange, but a nice kind of subtle orange. You know what I mean? And it's got orange on the brim, and then on the bottom you got the white guts. You got the under brim is green, like a classic Kelly green. So I'd wear it for today because it's a big weekend for the Turtles.
That new Turtles movie looks freaking really cool.
Yeah, right.
Really
I know.
Cool.
I'm excited.
Caleb in the house. Not. Oh no, you've seen it?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Oh, and it's
not great. Like, and I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. I couldn't wait. That's why I was there at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. showing yesterday. Ice Cube is the best part of the movie. Him as the Superfly, his voice is just brilliant. Like, it just works. But it's not a good story. It's funny. Like, there's funny parts, but it's like you don't care. And I'm telling you, you can't phone in animation no more. No. Animation movies are better than regular live action movies half the time. Yeah. You got to make a real movie. And that means full emotional engagement. What I mean by that is that you care about the characters. You actually care about what they're trying to do. You don't. The way they give you the backstory is like, right? They didn't even use the classic Ninja Turtle theme song. It's like, what are you doing, right? Now, there could be copyright issues. Then you redo it with new artists. I'll give Seth Rogen and them props for it because I didn't know Seth Rogen did it. Seth Rogen is a brilliant comedian. A storyteller is a different skill set completely together. But I'll tell you this. It was his love for hip hop is more than apparent. He has some of the best old school hip hop records, De La Soul, all that stuff in there. And I'm like, you guys should have redid the Ninja Turtle song like with new artists or using the old school artists. Like, you make one of the Turtles want to rap. They're all in Brooklyn. They're all in New York. Why can't one of them rap? Why can't Raphael, since he's the angry one, be like, want to flow? Like, there's so many creative things you could have done and still told that storyline. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it was under par. It could have been way better, and it should have been, considering it was the Ninja Turtles. There was things on YouTube saying, will Ninja Turtles be better than Spider-Man? It's not even a conversation. It's not even close. Miles Morales smashes that. It's not even a competition, but it should have been. Now, I liked the people playing the characters, like the actors, the voice actors. Everybody was great. It's nothing to do with that. It's literally the story. Like, you weren't emotionally engaged. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it was just, but it was cool because it's a Ninja Turtles. But
let me ask you this: did everybody have the same personalities? Like everybody's character traits that stayed the same?
Absolutely. Raphael, he wasn't as like standoffish and mean like he was in the original, like in the cartoons I'm talking about. Yeah. Not even those first movies. It's about in the cartoons. Yeah. Michelangelo's the same Michelangelo. Cool, I like it. Donatello, same Donatello. You know what I mean? And Leo, the same Leo. Donatello was a little different. He's a little younger. His voice is a lot higher, so he feels like he's like the youngest one, and I think that was always that. Or Michael was the young. I don't know, but Donatello feels like the youngest. And And Leonardo, is the leader. And in this one, Donatello is more like the smart one, as he always was. You know what I mean? And so it's cool. Like, they kept all of that stuff. It just, you didn't care enough. And I think that the Ninja Turtles, their story, you can actually care and like get into it. And I think there could have been more stuff between them based off of what the idea was. I'm not going to say what the idea was and what the issue is. So you could go watch it and see, because you may have a different opinion. But just for me, I wanted a little bit more. You know what I mean? Out of their relationship dynamics and what's going on between them as they're trying to defeat this big bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's okay. Out of 10, 6.
All right. I can see a
plus.
6. Is it one of those movies like you might want to watch? You might want to watch it. You watch it once, but you don't need to see it again. Is it one of those kind of movies?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's not Miles Morales.
Okay. Yeah. See, I watched that.
But let's be real though. That bar is very high. Like that bar is very high.
But it's like, but when you're in the league, it's like okay, whoever you think is the best player, but let's just say for the sake of argument, LeBron James. You're in the same league. You gotta do it.
Right. I feel like I agree, and this what I'm about to say might feel like an excuse, but the thing with the Miles Morales story is like, and just like his and the Spider-Verse and all of that, is that Miles is such a new character to everybody outside of the comic book nerds, right?
Right.
So what Seth has is like he has the liberty of us, of the nerds from time, the followers that have been following Turtles in every iteration. Now, you had mentioned like, we're going off on a tangent right now. Let me just finish this point real quick.
I'm sorry, Gene. I just come in and bombarded.
It's coming in hot, and then you're like, oh, I guess I got to nerd out now. But like, so when you have that kind of lore, right? You have so many people that are just going to see it no matter what, because it's a Turtles. I've watched almost every iteration. There's some stuff that you got to go into the crates and watch, because there's some Turtles, like animated stuff is bad. But the latest iterations, not the Michael Bay one, but the animated ones, Nickelodeon is dope. Like, that's probably one of the best ones that you need to watch. And that's from like the mid 2000s. And then they had another one that recently dropped, and I think that only lasted 1 or 2 seasons, where they really played up the extreme part of the Turtles. But yeah, anyways, I'm excited. I'm gonna go see it at some point this weekend. The cops are out here, so it's gonna be hot. Yeah.
So, and guys, I know this is a sports, talk show, but hey, let me know. Like, you guys want us to do a segment on movie reviews, because I see everything. I'm a member.
I was gonna say, you go out. You're at opening day. You're there.
I see everything. There's not a movie that's out that I haven't seen that I can't talk to you about and say hated it or loved it.
Shout out to In Living Color, amazing. And on film, love it.
On films, the Wayans. And it was David Allen. It was Damon and David Allen Greer, right? Damon Wayans.
Yeah,
for the two of them.
Damon Wayans and David Allen Greer. Yeah.
Yep.
You couldn't do that skit no more.
No, dude. No. That's all I was like, let's just walk past this. Let's keep going.
In Living Color, if it was out today, Keenen Ivory Wayans could never work again.
Yeah.
Remember Handyman?
Yeah. Stop, dude. No, don't bring that up anymore.
Like, are you kidding me?
Do you remember when they did the halftime skit?
That? You're done.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm surprised. I'll be honest. I'm surprised they haven't come for old Dame, like for Dame Wayans and for Jim Carrey for like stuff.
You know why? Because they don't do anything anymore, really.
That's a good point.
They don't do any. If they were like out, like let Damon Wayans run for office, like mayor, governor, they're bringing all of that up.
And I feel like too, especially with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey does a lot of stuff for society as far as charitable work too. So maybe that's kind of what's helped him. There's been so much growth with him as an individual.
He's not
since then.
in the public eye like that.
Yeah.
He's not pushing to be the #1 movie star anymore. All of that. Yeah. Like when you're going for things like that, that's when they come. They don't care if you're doing charitable work. They're gonna say, "Look, he did this. Don't take his money." Their kids be like, "Yeah, right. We need it." You know what I mean? Like, it don't make no sense. But if he was trying, let him run for president.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Run for governor. Watch what's gonna happen. You saw what happened with Arnold when he ran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they brought up stuff. He was like, I don't even remember that. I was in Austria.
You know yeah, no, you're yeah. It's a different. It's definitely a different world today than it was in the '90s. So, and we thought we were progressive back then, right? We thought we were progressive in the '90s, and maybe we weren't so progressive. But you know what? We have a few topics to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the Jets, Packers, and Pats. Some offensive lines, some best wide receiver duos, sack leaders this year. But you know what? Let's start with our favorite wide receiver duos. To me, there's one that sticks out. I think for all of us, I would be surprised if we don't have this as number one. Do we all go Jamar Chase, T. Higgins as the number one duo in the league, or did somebody else have something else for me?
I would say Waddle and Hill.
You put Waddle and Hill over Chase and Higgins.
I'm just saying they're in the same like
same breath.
You talking about duo? They got to be up there. It's because now it's relative.
Yeah.
Because to me, Jamar Chase is dope, but he don't change the game like Tyreek Hill. I've never seen Jamar Chase take a 5-yard screen on the 3-yard line and turn it into a 97-yard touchdown. Doing this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No. Like, they're super, like, it's different. There's different things. Now, I'm not saying Jamar Chase can't ball. I've seen him snatch one-handers. I've seen him one-handed with 2 feet in, leaning out of bounds. Amazing. But I can't just say, like, if put it like this. If the Eagles were playing against the Bengals in the Super Bowl or the Miami in the Super Bowl, I'd be more fearful of Tyreek Hill than Jamar Chase. I'm just being honest, because he can't run like that. He can't just take off and you can't catch him. You know what I mean? Like it's a different level. So I'm not saying he wouldn't burn our corners and catching everything, but he ain't breaking like that. That's not going to happen. So that takes a level of the fear down. So that's what I would say. But, you know, I fear Waddle and way more because of speed. Speed kills in the NFL. It's almost everything.
What about over by your guys, the Eagles? What about Brown and Smith?
Oh, they're phenomenal.
How nasty are they?
Again, ridiculous. Like, you should absolutely fear them. I think Jamar Chase is, you know what? He's better, but I think Devontae Smith, I think he's actually, like, per capita better, but he's little.
Really?
What? The
Jamar Chase? To me, Jamar Chase is the second best receiver in the league, and that's only because Justin Jefferson is like a 12 out of 10.
But okay. Chase got, who does he have throwing? Who does Chase have throwing him the football?
Joe Burrow. But Jalen Hurts isn't a scrub either, though.
He's not accurate.
You got his accuracy improved majorly this past year.
And so it went from an F to a C.
Okay.
And now
I wouldn't grade him. Will you grade him a C?
His accuracy.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm talking about.
Maybe B minus.
B minus.
Joe Burrow's an A plus.
Yeah. No. Joe Burrow puts it where you want it.
Football's a game of inches. So if the football's 1 foot in front of me, or 1 foot behind me, or 3 inches in front of me, or 3 inches behind me, what's more likely to get the reception? And think about that over 1,000 balls passed in a season, or 500. The percentages is gonna, like, that's a major difference.
I'm gonna be honest. Your take on Devontae Smith being better than Jamar Chase is as wild as me saying Sam Darnold's going to the Super Bowl.
No. I'm not saying he's better. I'm not saying, okay, I'm not saying like he's just better, but what I mean is he's so small and he's frail. Like,
you're saying pound for pound.
Like, huh?
You're saying like the term pound for pound.
Yeah, but like, because I'm saying like he's small and little. It's like he looks thin out there. His arm, his bicep.
Did we lose him?
Like my forearm, right? Like his arm. Like, now I know it's not that, but it looks that way on TV. And he's only 5'11". You know what I mean? And maybe 175 pounds. I think he's less than that. I think he's like 160. Like, it's crazy.
He's built like a punt returner. I agree.
Have you seen the catches he's made?
He made a couple in the postseason alone last year that were astronomical.
That one that was that he was out of bat, like that they ruled like
a catch, but maybe shouldn't have been, but it was still a phenomenal play.
Dude is ridiculous. And again, it's I think if he had Jamar Chase's size, who's to say? Do you know what I mean? Like
fair enough.
But I think Chase is better, of course, but I think Chase also has a better quarterback. A way better quarterback, and quarterbacks mean something.
If I was built like Jamar Chase, I'd probably be in the NFL too, though. So we can say that.
Hey, okay then. So now that takes Chase down a little bit because if
did I just prove your point?
Yes, exactly. You did.
But I'll tell you this. Mike Evans just said that he thinks he's the best receiver in the NFL, but he has Baker Mayfield throwing him the football. Watch how low he'll be in stats this year.
We're going to see how good he is this year for sure.
That's right. That's my point. That's how important the dude throwing you the football is.
Nige, bring some clarity to this conversation. What are you thinking?
Not only am I going to bring some clarity, I'm going to bring some new players onto the field. Because you guys can talk circles around these same guys, and it all makes sense. It all makes sense, and I'm on board. But I'm going to bring some new light into this. I'm going to talk about Mr. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I'm going to bring them into the mix because they still have proven that they could put up numbers no matter who their quarterback is. Mm-hmm. That's no lie. Both of them still had over 1,000 yards and still had 6 and 9 touchdowns respectively. You know what I mean? So we cannot forget about these two cats, even though you don't want to draft them until late in your fantasy because they're just not going to get you as much mileage as you want, but they're still pretty an elite duo in the NFL. I also want to give a huge shout out, and we kind of dipped our toes into this pool a little bit, into the Justin Jefferson pool, but what up to the rookie Jordan Addison from USC? Now, I mean, projections are projections, but shout out to ESPN. They're like, look, we're projecting him at 61 receiving, 61 catches, and like 904 yards, 4 touchdowns. Who knows, man?
I think he does over that. I'll tell you what, I think he's gonna do better than that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I mean, who knows what the Vikings are gonna turn out to be. Again, you're only as good as the person throwing your ball sometimes. Because I think as soon as you do get that ball, it is that yak after the yards after the catch. Who knows what's gonna happen? That's what actually makes you so much better of a player, because you're still a threat no matter what. But again, if we're talking about Tampa Bay and we're talking about Baker Mayfield, that's a tough look. Like that's
throwing you the football. Devontae Adams, arguably the best receiver in the NFL. Definitely top 3. It'll be him, Chase, and Jefferson. Yeah. But who's throwing him the football? Yeah. And who's throwing Jefferson the football? I'm not no shade on Mr. Mr. Cousins, but he ain't no Joe Burrow. He ain't no Patrick Mahomes. He damn sure ain't no Aaron Rodgers, right? It's like, what do you know? It's like so I feel like that stuff matters. It really does.
It does. It does.
My boys in San Diego are gonna be doing well this year. Watch what Mike Williams and Keenan Allen do, and my boy Josh Palmer do with that big boy back there, Mr. Herbert. That's my boy. I'm telling you.
And they added that rookie. They added a rookie receiver too. That's going to be fantastic. I'm blanking on his name, Johnston. He's from TCU. So
it's like, and again, quarterbacks mean something because you've also seen when receivers move on. Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
he went from being arguably the best when Aaron Rodgers was throwing on the football to who? Same thing with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
When he was there with my boy.
Listen, he's making less money this year coming up because of the quarterback. That's not because of him. That's because of the quarterback.
I'm trying to tell you that is
That's true.
Important, man. It is.
He needs to go collect. He needs someone to go over to back to Arizona to collect some of his money because he left money on the table because of Kyler Murray, I believe.
Well, I tell you this. Kyler Murray will give him every dollar back if he bet it on Madden. He's like, play me in Madden. Let's play for it. Let's play for it.
Well, here's my question: is who's some guys that we didn't talk about yet this year that could be the year that they are looked in that same regard as a duo? Like I feel like someone I feel like doesn't get the same respect as they should as everybody else. I think we like them individually, but we never think of them as a duo. And tell me if I'm wrong. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, do they not get the respect they deserve?
No, because
I guess look at the numbers, 56, 78. Those aren't they're not mind-boggling numbers. But they also Deebo's always got ganged up.
See, Deebo gets used in so many ways, which is why I'm glad he got his money. Shout out to Deebo Samuel. That is like my dude. Yeah. I love Deebo Samuel.
He's built like a running back, but got the skill set of a receiver.
He's just it's ridiculous. And I think Ayuk is crazy dope too. Mm-hmm. Hopefully Mr. Darnold or if it's Mr. Purdy back there has a great season because they got all the weapons in the world. And with CMC back there.
Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, we can add somebody new to
and pay Joey Bosa. Stop playing.
Nick Bosa. Joey Bosa's on your team.
On the Chargers.
Yeah.
You gotta pay Nick because Nick, without him, it really hurts that defensive line. You want Hargrove. Those two dudes, mm-hmm. You gotta pay Mr. Bosa. You got to. And John Lynch said he is, so we gonna
there's no way that guy does not walk around. And he should be the highest paid at his position.
I'm sure. No, he's got it's always they set the bar.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get a crazy contract and then
Micah Parsons will top that. But I'll tell you what, we Nigel were talking about it before the show. We can now add somebody else to my Sam Darnold comeback year.
This is so ridiculous.
We add someone else to the boat.
So ridiculous.
Damian Woody, former Jet and Patriot lineman and Detroit Lion lineman, now ESPN analyst, has said his hot take of this year is Sam Darnold leading the 49ers to the Super Bowl. So another member to our bandwagon. Sam Darnold will be the comeback player of the year. He's going to lead the 49ers to the Super Bowl. We now have another person that's now said that as their hot take.
All I'm going to tell you is if it happens, oh my goodness.
No, listen, I may start every show with saying the guy that told you Sam Darnold was coming back.
You might start wearing a 49ers jersey.
I root for the 49ers. One of my best friends in the world, Joey D, is a 49er guy. So I root for the 49ers sometimes anyway for him. I would be a little bit more into the 49ers, I got to admit, if I'm right on this prediction. And also it is a prediction. I'm not a Sam Darnold fan necessarily. It's just a prediction.
It's crazy.
If I'm right, I'm all in.
It's crazy to me that you made this prediction like in June or something. Like it was like May or June, and you said this blasphemy, and we died.
Laughed at me. Everybody laughed.
Died laughing.
And
then
people
a month and a half later.
I know they didn't hear me say it, but which makes me feel even better that people are thinking it on their own. But we bring an NFL analyst, a former player in the NFL. So
I get it. And look, that's a testament to the team and that Sam Darnold isn't garbage.
And a great coaching staff.
Woody thinks Sam Darnold is the best quarterback on the Niners. He thinks he's better than Purdy. That's what that means.
Yep.
And with that team.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I think you take his skill set.
There was a guy named Brad Johnson who won a Super Bowl in Tampa.
That's true. And not only that, he's with a coaching staff that will get the most out of their quarterbacks.
Right.
That I don't know if there's a coaching staff out there that I trust, mentoring a quarterback more than Kyle Shanahan. So
it definitely happens. Joe Flacco with the Ravens. Jeff Hostetler with the Giants. I remember that.
Well, that was like how that was very similar to your Super Bowl win with Nick Foles. He came in at like week 10 because of the injury and rolled to the Super Bowl.
Saint Nick, that's my man.
And who's the one who won it with? Who won the first? There was a quarterback that won the first Ravens Super Bowl. It was before Flacco? I can't remember the quarterback. He was a Tampa Bay quarterback for a little bit too.
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer.
My God.
There you go.
Wow.
If he can win a Super Bowl, anybody can win a Super Bowl.
Here's the deal with Trent Dilfer, though. We gotta not an asterisk, but you gotta mention this. He had a certain linebacker on his team who told him just get 10 points and I guarantee you we win.
I think they win 35-7.
That's how good that 2000 Ravens defense was. Ray Lewis told Trent Dilfer, all you have to do is get 10 points a game.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Yep. And they won, I think it was 35-7. So
touchdown on the field goal, and we got you. And do you remember that defense? Rest in peace, the Goose. Freaking Ray Lewis in the middle. My boy, who I still think is the best safety of all time, Ed Reed. But it's hard because there's Ronnie Lott, there's Steve Atwater, there's my
shout
boy,
out to the Miami Hurricanes,
Brian Dawkins in the like. There's a lot, but I just loved Ed Reed. Maybe it's just the way he played.
Let me ask you a question.
Lott is actually the greatest, but
a friend of mine once asked me recently, because these are all guys that played around the same time. And I asked both of you the same question. If you could have Troy Polamalu, Brian Dawkins, or Ed Reed, out of those three, who would you want as your safety on your team?
Oh my God.
They all played a little different.
I'll go first. I think this is a fantastic question.
It is.
I'm gonna go with Polamalu.
Okay.
One because listen. First of all, the hair. I have two allegiances here. So, huge Steelers fan, as you guys know, but also a big Miami Hurricanes guy. So it's like having Ed Reed, like, because Reed was sick. For me, it was the freestyle antics of Polamalu that, like, his just like. He wasn't like an X factor, but he was a guy that would complete coverage, and he was just kind of everywhere all the time. So he was just an extra threat in that way. For me, Reed was more of a technical guy. Like he was really great at on the break and just like covering and hitting. So Polamalu I think hit harder, but Reed was like fundamental, but just a sick at it. Like he was just like,
and he was a playmaker. Man. He got his hands on the ball. Like, who knows? Yeah,
you know what I mean. But for me, it's very small. It's very small. Like, but I'm gonna go Polamalu and then Reed.
And then Dawkins can take your head off. Dawkins was just
I wouldn't bat an eye if I had any one of them.
Of course.
Easy. Let me just say that.
All Hall of Famers.
So. To me, it's Ed Reed, and I'm explaining why. But Brian Dawkins, great cover, and I'm talking concussion giver, like king concussion. Like you're concussed when he hits you. Troy Polamalu, everything you said, Nigel, I agree 1,000%, and you are right. And the best hair ever in the NFL,
hands down,
hands down. Okay, phenomenal Hall of Famer, love him to death. But Ed Reed, the only reason why I give Ed Reed over them for my style of play, if I was a coach or an owner, his ball hawking ability. He's going to get me more turnovers. He got more interceptions. And it could be because he had that crazy defensive line and one of the best. Yeah. Actually, I think Ray Lewis might be the best middle linebacker of all time, but I'm a big Michael Singletary fan. But I think Ray Lewis probably beats Singletary. But you got those guys coming at you. It might have made it a lot easier for Reed to get those balls. You know what I mean?
And there was other good corner. They had some. Chris McAllister was also the corner. They had really good corners besides.
And what's his name? He's on ESPN too. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. The number 22. Jesus, I forgot his last name.
From where? From
the Ravens.
Baltimore?
Yeah, he was their corner. He's on ESPN all the time. I don't even like half his takes because he be making me. But anyway.
Foxworth? Was Foxworth in Baltimore?
Yes.
I knew he was in Denver. I wasn't sure if it was Baltimore too.
But he was in Ravens too. But it's only because of the turnovers. And I think me getting the ball more I would just a little bit. But like I said, because I know Polamalu and Dawkins caused more fumbles. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Dawkins, you needed to watch where he was if you were crossing the middle. You needed to know where Dawkins was because he would take your head off. I kind of felt like Polamalu was kind of like the crossbreed of the two of them. Like Polamalu he couldn't hit like Dawkins could hit, and he couldn't ball hawk like Reed could ball hawk, but he was a perfect combination of the two of them.
You definitely you remember that play when Paul Malu started from the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. As soon as you said it, go ahead.
Slowly times the snap and leaps over the like.
Yeah.
It's you don't see that kind of stuff. I think that's illegal now. Or I don't know.
During kickoffs it is, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, during kick attempts
something like that. Yeah, like the field goals or something.
Yeah, field goals and
punts or whatever. But I mean, it was but that's what I mean. But I tell you this though, that Ronnie Lott, and I know a lot of people are some of y'all watching may not have been born yet to watch him play. Whew. At a time when you could really play defense.
Yeah.
Right. Woo, man. That Ronnie Lott.
He was as good as it gets when he was, I mean, and the stories of him a legend, getting the finger chopped off at halftime.
And all of that. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I mean, it's a famous story. We all know it.
That's right. That's right.
So
last bit, I don't know if you guys covered this because I had to keep bouncing. Sorry, I'm expecting a package, so I'm like, is he here? Is he not here? But my point is like, I don't know if you mentioned this, but Palmalu, you also know you're gonna get the tackle for a loss because I know Caleb was like, you'll get the ball hawk from Reed 100%, but then with Palmalu, you'll get a tackle for a loss, right?
Yeah, they would play him up front a lot. They'd bring him around them. Reed pretty much they let sit in the backfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dawkins patrolled the middle.
Who is he gonna help?
Yeah.
That Ravens defense was so
that was gross. Yeah, it was gross.
That's a good point. Great point.
Right.
Scary good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to the next one. Offensive line, man, it's such an underrated position, but let's face it, if you don't have a good offensive line, you are in some trouble. Where do you feel the best offensive line resides in the NFL right now? I feel like you don't got to look too far for you, Caleb.
I'm about to say, I think it's in Philly. I think Dallas will be back if Zach Martin comes in, they'll be better, but they're not up there. I think the Jets have a good offensive line. I think Kansas City really revamped theirs because they needed to.
Pittsburgh did too.
Those guys, and I think San Francisco has a pretty good offensive line too.
They do too. I feel like they don't get enough credit, and maybe it's because they're still kind of a little bit away. I feel Detroit doesn't get the credit they deserve.
Yeah,
I feel like Detroit's got that was one of the reasons why they were so solid last year.
Yeah, they have a strong line. The problem is they don't have a great quarterback.
Yeah, Frank Ragnow is the center. He's fantastic. I think that's such an underrated offensive line. But I even like what Pittsburgh is doing. Pittsburgh is revamping that offensive line too. Added the Broderick Jones. Nigel, where do you put your if you had to put your money on the best line? How do you feel? How do you feel about your Pittsburgh Steelers line? Yeah. And where do you think the best line is in the NFL?
First of all, I feel great about the Steelers line now because it was just such a big problem. Like we saw it last year. It was about to happen the season before. So I mean, with the addition of the rookie and just like the shifts and stuff that they've made, I think we'll be in the middle. I think we might. I mean, we'll be better than last year. There's no doubt. Mm-hmm. I think we'll be in the middle of the pack of the conversation and maybe on the lower end of the top dogs. I feel like that's my hope anyway, because that was such an eye mark on the offense among other things. Mm-hmm. So I don't have these teams ranked, but I do like these are just all my teams of note. We've already talked about the Chiefs for sure. I mean, to get their center Creed Humphreys, and this guy's a monster. So he's leading the way for that line. And the reason why I think a lot of people would either put them on the top or put them towards the bottom of their top. The reason why I say that is because Mahomes is so unpredictable. Like apart from like his first initial 3 steps or his 5 step or whatever, after that, you literally have no idea. So the amount of holds or penalties these guys have evaded is mind-boggling with how fast Mahomes moves and just takes off outside the pocket. So shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs for staying with it and committing to their assignments. Obviously the Eagles, I'm not even going to go into it because we all saw them just absolutely crush last year. Even the best defensive lines were barely making a mark consistently, which was wild. But we got to give a shout out to the Cleveland Browns because the Browns have been doing things, man. They've been putting up the offensive front to make sure that Chubb is getting his yardage. So shout out to the Cleveland Browns. Their guards are arguably the best guards in the league. So Bentonio and Teller are great left and right guards. And then last but not least, this is I'm doing honoraries today. I'm doing honoraries. You know, I did it with the DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett in our wide receiver combo conversation. Honorary mention, Tevin Jenkins, the guard for the Chicago Bears. I had to do some deep research for this one. I mean, the Bears are no joke either, man. We saw them coming up. They're not a conversation piece as much as they were towards the end of the season, but they're getting better. So you got to look out because Jenkins he's pretty fresh. He's 25 years old. He was a third-rated offensive guard in the league from Pro Football Focus. So I mean, we gotta look out. We gotta look out, man. We gotta look out.
The same way you said with Mahomes, with that quarterback, he can either make you look like a fantastic offensive line or make it harder. It really just depends on if you get lucky or not sometimes, right? Because he's all over the place, so you really got to worry about how you block. But at the same time, he also helps you make up for mistakes because he's not going to get sacked like another quarterback might. So
exactly,
he's moving around. All right, so let's switch over to who helped their team best this year as far as a free agent or a trade. Obviously, I can't help but go close to home. Aaron Rodgers. Is there a better trade or free agent addition that happened for a team this year?
Oh, I'm gonna jump in real quick, and I'm gonna say it might be. We're going back to the Steelers, man. We're going back to the Steel Town with Patrick Patterson being added, that cornerback. I mean, that's a big deal for us, man. That is a big deal. So that helps us out a lot because we're getting crushed with yards from other receivers.
Are you scared of his age? He's about 64 years old. He's 1 year from retirement.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I think what it is am I scared of his age? A little bit. But what I'm not scared of and what I'm overjoyed with is how much of a vet he is and how much of a journeyman he's been and how much he can add to the experience level of the squad in the back. Just having him there alone, he's one of those guys, you know the name, so you just hope the name does a little bit more work than he actually has to with his feet, right? So I think that's one of the big ones. I think another one, obviously, is DeAndre Swift, right, from the Lions and the Eagles. That's huge. And dare I say, Juju Smith-Schuster, which I'm like, man, do I want to keep following this guy on IG? He was my beloved. I love this cat.
I feel like he's the MVP of IG. I don't know. We didn't see much from him last year. We thought last year was going to be huge because he's going to Kansas City. Yeah. Him and Mahomes.
Yeah.
I feel like he was one of these guys because the situation in Pittsburgh, he was able to kind of fly under the radar, and he didn't have to be. They had Antonio Brown. They didn't need him to be the guy, so it was easy for him to be, the guy under. And you got all those times you were afraid to go to, Antonio because Antonio was being doubled. You had him wide open. I don't know if he can be a number one. I don't know. I love the Swift pick though because that's going to pay a huge dividend in Philly. And obviously, let's not forget Sam Darnold to the 49ers is a major one. But
we wanted to leave that for you.
Yeah.
But Caleb,
I would say Stephon Gilmore to the to the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because that solidifies that defense.
Yeah, it really locks it up. I mean, you got my boy Mike over there talking about they're about to be like they're the best defense in the NFC, and like I'm like, can you guys play a game first, bro? Like in Dallas, it's so like, why are you guys talking? You know what I mean? Like that's what they do, and it's so sad because it's like you guys, and then you be crying. Stephen A. got y'all on TV, your fans crying.
Oh, did you see
every
that
other week, laughing, right? It's like stop it. How about you just be quiet and go play and let your play talk for you instead of you doing all the talking. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's if they go out there and get beat, Dak. Because listen, you got Whack Prescott as your quarterback.
Prescott.
What makes you think that this man is the only quarterback in NFL history to lead the league in interceptions with missing 5 or more games? Like, that's a real stat. He led the league in picks and played played 5 games less than everybody else.
It's rough. It was rough.
Listen, stop talking and just play the game. That's it. That's all the Cowboys need to do. Don't say nothing. Just play. Let Jerry talk. Let all the talking heads on TV talk. But you guys, shut up. You know what I mean? Because you jinx yourselves every time. You know, and it's embarrassing. They're the only team that talks like that. I ain't heard nobody else. You ain't hear Tyreek Hill. Oh, we going to the Super Bowl. Oh, we gonna be the best team. Nope. You haven't heard Aaron Rodgers say, "Oh, we the best." Nope.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like you, the only team that talks is that one. It's ridiculous. It's old now.
They can't help themselves.
They actually could. It's like, stop it. Just shut up. Just play the game. Right? It'd be different if you have if y'all was 4-0 and teams couldn't, and you're got the lowest pass yards in the league and lowest rush against and all that, then you could be like, we the best. But before the year is even started, really? Micah, God forbid, could tear his ACL at a birthday party. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, be quiet. Yeah, I just don't get it. My team that just came back, we didn't say, "Oh, we going back to the Super Bowl. That game was a fluke." Yeah, no. You know what I mean? Like, Patrick Mahomes, who's the best, ain't said nothing about nothing.
No.
But the guys that don't get there ain't been there since I was 13 years old and I'm 43. I'm 143 years old. And you talking? I'm talking about y'all ain't been to where Micah wasn't even born yet since the last time you guys were relevant and you up here talking. Don't think offensive linemen don't hear that. Yeah. They're like, okay, we looking.
They're gonna circle that they're gonna circle that date on the calendar for sure.
Yep,
that's right.
So
so
to bring it back, pick one. What was the best? We'll each pick just who we think is the best.
I think it's Dallas. I say it's Dallas with Gilmore because of what he does, because it really shores up those corners, because Diggs is fire. And then you get another one, like that's nasty with Micah, you know what I mean? With that defensive line, they have some new blood in there. Like it could be nasty. So I'm gonna give it to them with that one. Even more than us with Swift because of how we play it. Swift is only going to get two downs every like it's a rotation in Philly. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. I don't think he'll have as much of an impact as it should suggest with him coming there because of how we do our running backs. Mm-hmm. It's a carousel system.
So Nigel, who would you say is if you pick one, who's the one?
I'm still gonna go with Swift, man. I just feel like because I was such a naysayer. Listen, I teach improv, and one of my students, huge Eagles fan, and week after week I was like, no, girl, they ain't making it week after week. Not only did they prove me wrong, but they were just dangerous. Like, it was gross what Philly was doing. It was gross. And then I was like, okay, when they made it to the Super Bowl, we made a bet. I mean, I won that because I called it, but I mean, all this to say, with the addition of Swift, regardless if this is going to be like a tandem thing or like however they're going to do this, it'll be fine. It's going to be super great. Like, it's just going to be a better, high-powered offense. It's going to be, well, in the words of the man who loves this team, a tragedy for the other teams, man. It's going to look fantastic. Like, they're going to look like a Madden fantasy team that you put together, like an all-star team. Mm-hmm. It's going to be girls. So I think that's he's going to be a big part of that.
Be careful. They were once called a super team once before by Vince Young, the backup quarterback, and that didn't work out too well. They signed Nnamdi Asomugha, Vince Young. They signed
I know. I'm still sideways.
Philly might still be a little bummed when you say super team in Philly. That might not go so well, that combination.
That's why they don't talk.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. That's Vince Young no longer in the league. I think that was his last year in the league too.
Neither is Nnamdi. Nnamdi is like doing movies now and stuff. Like,
he's married to Kerry Washington, isn't he?
I think they divorced, but I know he was. I don't think they're together anymore, but they were, absolutely.
Okay. Well, all right. So, and
I'm going to go stole money in Oakland because he was a beast for a minute, and then they gave him that big contract, and that.
Yeah, I remember everybody was like, it was him and Darrell. And I remember there was a time where I believe when he signed with the Eagles, it came down to the Eagles and the Jets. And everyone thought he was going to the Jets because it was a no-brainer, matching him up with Darrell Revis. Like it's a no-brainer. Right. And then he ended up picking the Eagles. And we us Jet fans at that point hated Nnamdi Asomugha.
Because he should have went there. It was ego because he would be number 2 in New York because you weren't going to surpass Revis.
Could you imagine that both of them in their prime though? Because in his prime, Nnamdi was about as good as it gets.
No, absolutely, and he was tall.
Yeah,
see, it's like a tall corner that could run with you was nasty.
And instead, we ended up getting the kid from not kid, grown man, but from San Diego. I'm blanking on his name. The one when he has about 25 kids. Who am I thinking of?
Well, it's not Sean Kemp.
No. Does he have a lot of kids too? I don't. He has a reality show because he has so many kids.
Oh yeah.
The other corner when Darrell was with the Jets, he played for the Chargers and then he came over.
I don't even remember that.
Who was the Patty? Find out who the corner was when he was paired up with Darrell. I know who he is. I'm blanking on his name. I see his face right in front of me, and I cannot think of his name. He was the corner when he was the opposite corner of Darrell Revis.
What?
It's gonna kill me.
We'll figure it out.
Patty, look it up. He was the corner when Darrell Revis was the corner. He was the opposite corner of Darrell Revis during those AFC Championship years, and they were a really, really, really good tandem too at that time. And he was like you said, tall, a lot of length. He was a really good corner. Cromartie, that's it.
Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah. Antonio Cromartie. That was a really good duo. That was a really good duo.
True.
True.
Hey, Cromartie was no joke because he was up there with Richard Sherman in Seattle.
Yeah.
He was one side and dude was the other one.
He was in Seattle. He was in
No, it wasn't him in
San
Seattle.
Diego.
Yes, but who was the one in Seattle?
Richard Sherman and
it was that. I'm blanking on his name, but dude, he was good, but tall as well. He was part of the Legion of Boom.
I can't think of the.
Is that the greatest secondary of all time?
The 20s Ravens was a really good one too.
Hey man, but earlier. I'm saying, is that the greatest of all time? You had
short-lived, but yes, maybe only for like 2 years.
Cam Chancellor,
Earl Thomas,
Richard Sherman, and then
that other corner who I'm
Browner,
too.
Stephen Browner.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
The
Canadian Football League alum, Browner, I believe.
Dude, is that the greatest secondary of all time? Every position, like both corners, both safeties. Is that the best one?
Again,
and if it's not the best, is it top 3?
It's top 3 for sure. Well, you know what it is? My only thing is that I just feel
look at Nigel. He's like,
the only thing is it wasn't. They didn't have the longevity you would have hoped for. That only lasted for like 2 years.
You can't because it costs too much money.
Yeah,
the league had changed. Once they won the Super Bowl, everybody wanted to get paid. That changed everything.
Yeah.
But
Philly's got a good one. Philly's got a good one now.
Yeah, now, but I mean,
not Legion of Boom, but I know what you're saying.
Our safeties are good, but there's no B-Hawk out there.
No, there's definitely not.
I mean, B-Doc. There's no B-Doc out there. Like I'm like Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor.
Cam was just.
Oh my God, dude!
The beast.
Yeah, like I don't know. Ask the people out there. You guys watch, like, who do y'all like? Where would you rank that secondary? I'm just talking the secondary.
I know that, and I think that's where I'm struggling because I was like, immediately was like, well, we're not even going to talk about the steel curtain, but you specifically are saying
I'm only talking secondary.
I know that. So that I know that. So yeah. So I'm going to agree with you because my brain isn't fast enough to think of who else.
Who was better? Because there's a lot of teams that had way better safeties. Better corner, but
as a unit,
four
yeah.
At the same time,
yeah,
they were tough. They were real tough.
Yeah. So anyway,
So, all right, well, let's stay on defense and let's talk. Who do we expect to lead the league in sacks this year? We talked about Nick Bosa. We talked about Joey Bosa. We talked about a lot of these guys, Micah Parsons. Who is this year's sack leader? Caleeb, who do you have? Who, if you got to say who do you expect to be the guy this year?
Oh my gosh!
Is it one of the Bosas? Is it Micah Parsons?
It's not going to be Micah because they put him in cover too much. He might if they just let him go after the quarterback all the time, but they don't. Because Bosa gets to go after you every single play, so it's almost unfair, right? Like to put that on Mike because Micah does
because of what he does. His skill set is a little different.
Oh my gosh, it might end up being one of the Bosas. It could be Hargrove because of Mr. Bosa. Because remember, it causes defenses are going to have to pick their poison. I mean, offensive lines to pick their poison. Oh my gosh, that is who's going to lead the league in sacks? You know what? It probably won't be this guy, but I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say Quentin in New York. I'm going to give Quentin his due. Even though I don't think it'll be him. I'm going to just say Quentin.
Quentin Williams? He's a tackle now. That's hard for a tackle to do.
Right? Because you need a defensive end. But I think, honestly, it'll probably be – I don't even know if it'll be Nick. Because Nick – He
got to stay healthy, and he's going to miss some games. He might miss some games if he doesn't get that contract.
That's what I'm saying. It'll probably be somebody we're not even thinking about.
Yeah, and that's where I come in. So first of all, we got to remember that Bosa, he still has that contract negotiation thing. So this is gonna be a problem. Like it's because it's lasting too long. Even though he crushed last year, like 18.5 sacks. So this is where I'm going to come in. And I'm
a homer pick. Is it a homer pick?
Listen, Val, he's back. He's back. He's starting to practice. He is back. Shout out to my boy TJ Watt. You know what's up. Pittsburgh Steelers coming back. I gotta say, I think he's my underdog, man. Because the guy is dangerous, man. We all know what it is. Now he's a linebacker. He's coming back from injury. He had orthoscopic surgery on the preseason for his knee injury. So like the guy is just like he's getting better. He's getting healthier. He took care of a lot of other issues that was going on. So now he's back, and I'm excited for that, man. I mean, he had that pectoral thing, and it took him out week 1, and we were just devastated, and we did the best we could without him. But now that he's back, I think he's going to be a contender. If he doesn't get it, he'll be a contender. He'll be in the top 3, hands down.
Sure. And you know what? I'll say, look out for a dark horse of Kayvon Thibodeau.
Okay.
He had a little bit of a rough start his rookie year. He started off injured. I think he's gonna explode on the scene this year. I think he's gonna have, I'm not saying he's gonna lead the league in sacks. He's gonna be up there though, I think, and I think he explodes on the scene this year, Kayvon Thibodeau. But you know what? Speaking of Watt, though, I have a question. When TJ Watt's career is over, who's the Watt that we're gonna remember more, TJ or JJ?
JJ.
You think still JJ? Because TJ's putting up. I don't think people expected TJ to be as good as he's been.
Yeah. No. Because what happens is when you have a sibling, they always compare you, and the one that comes first is what it's like. You got to do. You could if you do equal, he's better. You have to surpass like double, right? It's why Janet could never surpass Michael. He made Thriller. That's it. Game over. I don't care how good Control is. I don't care how big. It's like no matter how big Janet got, she's still. That's Michael's little sister.
To quote Dave Chappelle, he made Thriller.
He made Thriller.
I still remember where I was when that video premiered, when that came out. That's when videos were videos, and I still.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a mini movie, man.
Right. When you have a sibling, when you have a sibling that's a beast, JJ is a legend. So, and when they stop playing, their legend gets deified. Like now, it's like even extra. It's like Michael Jordan. It's like it. And the way people describe Mike, you would think he never missed a shot. Never missed a game. Every shot he took went in. Every time he played a game, he won. Like, that's how it feels because it gets deified. So I think it's really hard for TJ to surpass. He would have to get 100 sacks in a season. And then they would be like, hey, you know what? He might be as good as JJ.
You know what? You know what, man? Caleb, you're not. I hate to concede, but I think you might be right. I think you might be right. I'm trying not to come with my bias. What I'm struggling with is that the fan base around TJ and his comeuppance, and not only the fan base, but just like the accolades that he's garnered from his play has been so detailed and has been so, the breadth of it has been so big. Like, yeah, JJ for sure, man. Like, I get that. I just feel like, where's he at? He was in Houston. Now he's in Arizona, right? Or not Arizona.
No,
he's retired.
He was in Houston.
Retired. Sorry, yeah. So it's
done.
like, yeah, right. So I completely lost track of his career, but yeah, man, maybe you're right.
It's just
maybe you're right.
Listen, what's up with my man George? Does anybody care about George? No. Everybody want to talk about Jesus. Everybody talk about his brother, so nobody care about what George has done. George has done. You have no idea the accolades George has done, what he has contributed to the Christian religion, but nobody cares.
Out of nowhere, me and Gene, our brains are broken because we're like, yo, you talk about Eddie George? What you talking about?
Yeah, I'm like, George. I'm like, and then I started going, Bill Clinton, George Clinton. I'm like, wait, no, it's not. That's a different George Clinton.
Oh my goodness. Next topic. It's over. Yeah, next topic. You win.
That's what it's like.
Yeah, Jesus is a tough one. Jesus is a tough one to overtake.
It's like
you're
that's
right,
what it is.
You're right.
So it's just difficult when you have you really have to do double of what they've done, like damn near to even be considered on the same level. Like you really have to surpass them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about some outlooks for the season for three teams: Pats, Packers, Jets.
Eli has more Super Bowls. I'm just sorry, Gene. Eli has more Super Bowls than everybody talk about Peyton.
Yeah.
Peyton totally was a far superior regular season quarterback, though.
Yeah, who got more rings? Regular season don't matter.
Well, they have the same amount of rings.
Who took down the GOAT? Who took down the GOAT twice?
Yeah, you got him there. Yeah.
But don't nobody care.
I was gonna say, but nobody talks about that. Yeah, nobody even talks about that. Yeah,
that's a good point. So we're gonna start with the Patriots, though. So let's go around now. 7.5 is their under over. So we'll talk about what we think as far as that. But what do we expect from the Patriots there? Do we expect the last place team? Do we expect them to surprise some people? Where do we expect them to go this year, Nigel?
Ooh, okay.
Belichick is still an evil genius.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's really the only major talking point, I think, is Belichick. Sure, man. They've still got a roster of decent players. We don't know where Mac Jones is going to go, and when I say that, we don't know which Mac Jones is going to show up. One that has learned from his mistakes, or one that's going to be more consistent, or one that's just going to be even keel and just get them through the season. We don't know. Now he's got a little bit more of a weapon in Juju Smith-Schuster, which is great if you can get him the ball. Devontae Parker, fine. Ron J. Stevenson, fine. All these guys are fine, right? So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to do any better than last year. If not, if they do, then it's just going to be kind of the same. Again, their division is super tough again, man. Like we've talked about the Jets. Not only are you a fan, Gene, but regardless, the Jets are in the conversation for all the movements they've made. So you have the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins. This is another tough conference, man. Now that I visually look at them, like, I don't know how the Patriots are going to do. So this is going to be a real dogfight for them this season, and I think they might finish out at the bottom.
If 7.5 is their under over, what do you have them with?
7.5. I'll take the under.
What do you got them wins wise?
Like 6.
I'm gonna have to go over because their defense is so good.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna win more than 7.5 games?
I think they can, because the way that Belichick plays, like the way he coaches. Sorry, he doesn't play. Yeah. The way he coaches, the game scheme, I think, and with a great defense, I just think that can make a hell of a difference. I think the Patriots and the Jets have the two best defenses in the AFC East. Better than the Bills and better than Miami. especially Miami now. Miami has the worst defense now that they lost.
And that's sad because that's still going to be a solid defense too. I mean, they just but
they got a gaping hole on that side.
Well, Eli Apple's there now, so that's gonna.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot. Super Bowl bound, baby.
There you go.
And to your point, Caleb, like I agree with you. My thing is like, cool, man. If you have a bomb defense now your offense has to put up, like your offense has to be able to, when they're on the field, they got to put up those numbers. So that's what I'm afraid of, right? Is the fact that the defense can hold out other offenses as much as possible, but their offense has got to turn it around. They got to churn something out. And if they can't, then the defense is tired. We've seen ragged defenses, and what happens? Then they're just going to get destroyed. So I'm not negating your point. I'm just saying that worries me in the fact that that worries me in the fact that it's going to put more pressure.
They added that rookie Christian Gonzalez. If you put up the thing real quick, Pat. I mean, still good at their defense. Look how solid this defense is. Lawrence Guy Sr., Matthew Judon, Jabril Peppers, Christian Guzman. I mean, there's names all over that defense. Godchow. There's names all over that defense that are going to be solid guys. That Christian Barmore, he's not even starting, and he's a solid player on that defensive line. That you're right. That's going to be really good. And to bring in a player in the draft last year like Christian Gonzalez, who I think is going to end up being the best corner in that draft last year. I think he's going to be better than the guy that Seattle got even. I don't have them going over. I'm still taking the under, but because I have them winning 7 games. I think they're going to be really good. I think the defense is going to keep them in games. Unfortunately, I think Mac Jones is going to keep them out of the winning column for most of those games. So, listen, they're going to lose games. They're going to lose games 13-10. I still think they're going to be in games. I just don't think Mac Jones is going to be able to make the plays that he needs to make. So they're going to lose some games 10-7, 13-10. And maybe they'll win a couple of games 16-13. But I don't think as good as that defense is, I just don't think they have enough on offense. Even if you look at the receivers, they signed a couple of receivers this year, but they got Parker and Juju are like, they're not number one guys. They don't have a number one guy in that receiving room.
Belichick has never had that except with Randy Moss.
That's unfair. Edelman was a number one.
Well, it's like, but not. Yes, of course, they always have a number one if you want to get.
Well, Edelman put up terrific numbers, but I hear what you're saying. He's not your stereotypical.
To me, Wes Welker was their best receiver of all. Was indefinitely Tom Brady, way better than Edelman. Edelman was dope, but not better than freaking Wes Welker. Not to me.
You might be right.
No,
you might be right.
That's
close. They're close. They're very similar players.
Yeah,
and similar. They're carbon copy. That was by design. Why do you think Cole Beasley was there? Like, that's what Tom Brady and Belichick want. They don't. Well, they knew they run that West Coast.
Cole Beasley was in.
Oh no, he wasn't
Buffalo.
in there.
I don't think he was in New England.
No, he didn't play for the Patriots. He was on the Bills.
He's on the Giants now.
And Giants, but what I mean is it's that style, that little receiver that goes up 3 yards and cuts across catches like. That thing, that's what they do. That's what they do.
Yeah. Who was the guy they had that was like before they had Welker? Who was the receiver they had? The small receiver they had back then that was just that same type of guy too.
They had Deion Branch.
Something
Brown. Troy. No, it wasn't.
Brown
Troy.
was his last name. Troy Brown? Troy Brown.
It was Troy. Okay.
Troy Brown.
Yeah,
they always had one of these really just fantastic small slot receivers that would take over the offense.
Because it was about the team, not the player. Moss was the first time where you had a player that overshadowed
so dynamic
the team because it was freaking Randy Moss. I mean, come on.
Yeah, definitely. So me and Nigel got him going with the under. You got him going with the over. What do you think?
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna go with the over with Belichick. I'm gonna go the over. I'm just,
if you had to give me a number on wins, what do you think they get this year?
8, 9.
8 or 9?
With a good defense, and if Mac Jones is playing,
he's the question mark.
Daniel Jones.
That's enough to win a couple extra games.
And I'm telling you, the injury card is out there for everybody. Yeah. Don't let something happen to Tua. Don't let something, I'm telling you, this stuff, dynamics instantly different.
If Tua gets hurt, but that's the thing is I trust Mike White with that offense. I'm not gonna lie, man. If Tua gets hurt, will they win as many games with Mike White? Probably not, but I think they'll still win games with Mike White.
But now you're competing. But now you got to win those games against.
Yeah, no, you said it's a tougher win,
right? Like because now you got to compete. It's because like you're not going to beat the Jets with Mike White, not with that defense. I don't care what Woody says.
I'll tell you what, defense. Mike White coming into MetLife Stadium late in the year scares the hell out of me. It does. Get it. Just because he used to be here, he's going to want to beat the Jets.
He's going to want to. There's a lot of people that want to do a lot of things.
Good point. Good point.
You know
Good point. I wanted to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles till you crapped on it.
Don't be like that. Go see it. Hey, y'all, if you heard my rant on it, go see the movie. I'm not saying don't see it.
You did say go see it. We did say you could see it at least once.
I will see it. You might think it's great. I just didn't.
I definitely will still see it.
Was way better than Ninja Turtles. You know what I mean?
Barbie?
Yeah.
Really?
Way better than Ninja Turtles.
I just can't imagine what Barbie could possibly be about.
No, don't do this. Don't go into this conversation, man. Don't go into this because it's fine. Go see Barbie. Go see Ninja Turtles. That's what I'm telling the people. That's what I'm telling the audience. I'm going to do both.
Is ridiculously.
Yeah, and Oppenheimer. When I have 4 hours, I'm going to go see Oppenheimer. When I have that
hey, honestly,
half a day.
It's 3 hours, but it didn't feel like it.
I love those. I love those.
Hey,
I love those.
Hey, are you going to see the new Exorcist movie?
Huh?
No, I'm out.
Are you going to see the new Exorcist movie?
Oh, of course. I see everything.
I gotta know how this new Exorcist movie is if it's legitimately scary because the trailer.
It's not. It can't be. Is it rated R?
I don't know. I'm not sure what it's.
There you go. If it's PG-13, you know it's not scary.
I don't know what they rated it. It's PG-13?
I don't know, but I'm just saying. And
it's got to be rated R. I gotta imagine it's definitely rated R.
And if it's R, it's gonna be. See, what makes things scary is the spiritual aspect, not the woo boo.
Jump scares.
It's the mental game.
Oh, I agree. I believe in that stuff.
Like,
so for me, that could really happen somewhere.
Yeah. So we shall see. I watch it all though. I need to hear. You got to text me when you see that one because I need. I'm about to go see Blue Beetle. Shout out to my boy Angel and my man Jolo. And I'm gonna see Gran Turismo because I have to. And I'm gonna see if it's any good. It seems to be weird. I didn't know it was a true story. So
they say that in the commercial. We'll see.
Yeah.
But Blue Beetle does look really good too. I'm excited to see that one as well, which comes out soon. They've been playing the commercial.
The 18th, August 18th.
There you go. All right, so let's talk about the Packers now. Packers and Jets, they're kind of tied at the hip. We're going to talk about both of them. Packers, they lost Aaron Rodgers. They're going to put in Jordan Love. What are we expecting from the Packers this year, Caleb?
Well, fortunately for them, they're in the NFC North.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the NFC North is going to be tighter than what people expect.
Agreed.
Those Lions are not playing. Mm-hmm. Those Bears are scary. Like, it's not an easy win. Like, you can't phone that win in anymore. And Minnesota, I think, takes it. But Green Bay has a great team. The only question mark is at the helm. That's it, right? So if Jordan Love can play halfway decent, they should, at minimum, be in third, at highest take second. I don't see them winning the division unless he balls. If Jordan Love surprises everybody and is ridiculously good, it's a wrap because they're going to win. Because I think their defense is better than Minnesota. And if he can outplay Cousins, I think they win it. But if he's normal, like pedestrian, second at the best.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate for them to go if they lose and go place last. If the Bears beat them,
which is don't be surprised. The Bears can sneak up on some people this year.
I know they can. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not an easy win. You can't just phone that in. And if that was to happen, they're getting rid of Love.
There's always a year. No, I agree. There's always a year. Every year, there's always a team that you don't expect to do much that comes out of nowhere. Last year was the Giants. Nobody expected the Giants to be good last year. A lot of people had them as a top 5 pick last year. In the draft. who's this year's team? It could be the Bears, which could spell danger for Green Bay, because Green Bay is the only one where it's like it really depends on the quarterback. They could either have 10 wins this year, or they could have 5 wins this year. It really depends on the quarterback.
Tragedy. Woo, man.
I love that.
So what do you have them under over? 7.5 is their under over. What do you have them getting?
I'm not gonna do them like that. So I'm gonna just say, I guess if I take 7, that I'm taking the under. But I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna give Jordan. I don't want to disrespect Jordan Love like that. He looks great with his red jersey on and in the shorts, throwing the passes. He looks phenomenal. He looks phenomenal. So from what I've seen, they're gonna do all right.
We all look good in 7-on-7 drills.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You know, so
All right.
I'm gonna take the over. I'll take the over on it.
All right, slightly over with an 8 or a 9. Nigel, what do you got?
I'm going to keep this real short and sweet. What is the over under again? Just tell me one more time.
7.5.
Great. Under. Moving on.
What's your number?
It's going to be, I think this is the year that the Bears overtake them. So last year they finished 8-9 and the Bears finished 3-14. I think this is the year that the Bears overtake them by 1. So my number is going to be like, I think they'll go 5. I think they'll take a dip.
So you take that low end like I was talking about before.
Yeah. I think they take a dip. I think they'll be back, but I think this season they're gonna take a dip.
So do you think Jordan Love's not the guy, or do you think he just needs another year of cooking?
Yeah, honestly, I just think he needs another year. I don't hate the guy. I'm not a hater. I just feel like he just needs another year, man. And it's vicious out there. Like Green Bay is just a vicious climate to play in, man. I think things might just get to him, whether that's mentally or just other teams in the division. I think again, Caleeb's point, Minnesota, Detroit, both of those teams, especially Detroit, gonna shock us, man. I hope they do. I hope they just keep on that momentum that they had last year, because it was really fun watching them be better than they have been for 2 decades. So, I mean, it's really fun.
I tell you this, if the Bears win 6 games, that's a improvement. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
I can see them winning. I can see this. We talked about the Bears. That's another one where, like I said, I think they catch some people sleeping. I think they're going to win some games that you don't expect them to win. Yeah. Listen, 1 or 2 against Green Bay could be something you don't expect, and they could.
If Fields gets his accuracy together, the Bears, the sky's the limit.
You can see a Hurts type jump with Fields.
Yeah, because it's hard to deal with the quarterback that can run and pass. It's what people are dealing with Hurts.
Yeah. Like I said, you could see the same kind of jump with Fields that Hurts had. Maybe
1,000%.
Maybe not quite as good as Hurts because of the supporting cast isn't the same.
If I was Justin Fields, I'd be working with Peyton Manning. I'd be working with Phillip Rivers. I would get with these quarterbacks that know it and train.
Good point.
And there's something about last thing on this for me. There's something about, I know we were talking about Green Bay, but if we're talking about Chicago for a split second, for a heartbeat, there's something about this team now with Fields doing something non-traditional with a team that is traditionally pocket passing, the slow burn with just the run, like just a very boring offense to watch. Yeah. Their defense has always been just average or below. Like I shouldn't say that. Not always. They've had one of the greatest
midways of the monsters.
Yeah. But it's like to see that switch up and to see it at Soldier Field is fantastic. So I hope it does go that route, just to give the other team something, give them a little bit more to worry about other than just like the traditional Bears football.
Gotcha. All right, so let's switch our attention to the Jets, my team. Their under over is 9.5, and we're gonna wrap up a little early. This is our last topic of the day. Where do we have the Jets? Obviously, we've been talking about the Jets a lot, man. So we're gonna probably rehash a little bit. How can you not talk about them? They're in the press every day. They've controlled every sports show every day for like the last couple of months. But Nigel, what do we foresee with the Jets? Do we see them finishing in first? Do we see them finishing second? Do we see them getting to the Super Bowl?
This is wild. This is wild that they've been this much of a talking point. I get why, but it's just wild. There's always a team. There's always a team every year, and it's just the Jets' turn. So with that answer, with that comment, I'm going to say they're going to finish second in the East.
To who?
To the Bills. I don't know how far the Bills are going to go after that, but I think in their division, I just think the Bills are the better team. I think they'll finish out first. I think it'll go Jets, and then it'll go Miami. That might be tight too. The Jets, Miami might be tight, and then the Patriots. So another thing about the Jets, they're all just trying to figure it out too, man. We got to remember there's a lot of key pieces that are all playing together for the first time. So a lot of things happening. As long as the excitement's there, I love it. It's gonna really ignite, put that fire into their butts. But also they got to gel. We got to see that cohesiveness, and it's gonna take some time, my guy. It's gonna take a little bit of time. We saw it happen. We saw it happen in basketball. We saw it happen with the Suns. We saw the slight implosion. I'm not hoping for this, but you know what I mean. Your Jets are going to be fine. I think I'll take the 9 wins?
It's 9.5.
9.5. Man.
The fact that you're even thinking about sorting my feelings a little bit.
No. I'll take the I'll take the over on this. It's the only one today I'll take the over, but I feel like it's going to be like 9.75. Like I feel like it'll just be past the 9.5. I don't feel like they're going to get the 10 win threshold.
Like if they could win 3/4 of one game, then you're good with that.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah.
Well, that's disrespectful, Caleb.
Honestly, I think listen. I love Aaron Rodgers. Yep. I want to see him do well, so I'm gonna take. I think they're gonna win first place. I think they will. Will they get to the Super Bowl? That I do not know, because the AFC has a gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But I do expect them to take the AFC. Now, I think their biggest competition will be a healthy Miami, right? Because of the speed factor that I was talking about earlier. I think that has a major component that people just don't it's hard. It's hard to defend it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so there's that. But my only issue with the Bills is just I feel like the spirit is off in Buffalo.
I agree. I feel like they're they had a rough ending of the year last year. They come into this year and the receiver is kind of like pissing and moaning a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a disconnect in Buffalo.
Right. And the Jets are the most cohesive they've ever been. They believe they can win because they felt all they needed was a quarterback. And now they got arguably one of the best not arguably, he is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And so they believe, and belief is very powerful. So I think it's that. It's not bravado like Micah and the Cowgirls in Dallas. I'm talking it's a real belief. Yeah. So I'm backing them on that, so I will give them that. Of course, anything can happen. Injuries can happen. Josh Allen in Buffalo could really but just looking at it, I think they should absolutely take the division this year. I think it's theirs to lose because they have all the pieces to beat everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really do. There's no excuses now.
100%. I have them going over. I'm assuming you have them going over 9.5 as well if they're going to win the division. I have them getting 12 wins.
Yeah, so I'm taking the over.
I think they win 12 games this year, and I think I originally had Miami coming in second, but now with the Jalen Ramsey injury, I think the Bills might maybe take second place at this point. I had the Bills coming in third prior to that Jalen Ramsey injury. Now I got the Bills kind of, I think, coming in second, but I think it's going to be Jets 12, Bills/Dolphins at 11, and Bills/Dolphins at 10. Maybe even a second team at 11. I think you'd like to say, I think 3 teams from this division can make the playoffs because they're that good. But there's also the AFC North that any one of those teams can make the playoffs. So
right,
it's going to be that's the weird part about this conference is it's so top heavy because every division has multiple teams that can make the playoffs. Every division. Jets got 3 teams. The North has 4 teams. the West has at least 2 teams. South has 1 team, or maybe the South is the one exception where only 1 team really makes it. But such a top-heavy league. I mean, like, other than Hurts, every major quarterback is in the AFC, I feel.
Yeah. And I just feel like this year is the time for the Jets to really do something. If they were to underperform, it's going to be bad. And here's and I'll say this. I wish is it Salah? Is that how you pronounce it?
Salah.
I wish he would let Aaron play tonight. One series.
I agree.
Just 3 plays. Just if you're worried about injury with 3 plays, then you should you should just retire, because this is the NFL, baby. And I feel like when you know what's funny in life, the thing you try to protect against is how you make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna carry a gun so don't nobody rob me. Then you gotta shoot somebody because that energy is out there. Like you when you defend against something, you're calling it to you. That's how the universe works. It's the union of opposites, right? So you trying to protect is exactly why something negative is gonna happen. You know what I mean? It's like you got to embrace where you're at. You gotta go. You fight, scared money don't make money. That's what that means. You know what I mean? So it's like, I wish they would let him play 1 series, then sit him. Just throw it. Get in there with the speed. Let the team come at you. Yes. You know what I mean? Pull him after 3 downs if he doesn't get a first down. Pull him. Punt it. Hey, good run. Next game, we'll do it again. You know what I mean? But it's like, I want to see, because I bet you Deshaun Watson is playing tonight. I bet you that.
No, he's actually, they said he's actually not going to play tonight. They've already deemed him out.
They tripping. They're tripping because he needs it more than anybody.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He absolutely, now I know he's also worth $230 million.
Guaranteed.
And he didn't give nothing back.
No.
He didn't give him no $35 million debt. No. So I get it, but I feel like you got to play these guys. Like, you got to get in there. It's like, I'm going to do this without sparring. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you real quick. One of my favorite fighters of all time, Max Holloway in the UFC. Max Holloway stopped sparring for fights. Guess what? He started losing. That's what happens. Yeah. Because you're not used to the timing. I'm telling you.
And when it comes to a quarterback and receivers, it's all about timing. And you
need that. You need it. You got to go out there. Now I know they say injury. It ain't just injury they worry about. They worried about not looking good and people talking mess. Yeah. Let them. Who cares? It's preseason. You know what I mean? But I digress. I think he should play one series. And Deshaun, it's a dumbest. Let him. He absolutely needs it.
Yeah, he's got to get that rust off, man. We saw it.
Stupid.
I agree. I would love to see them both. Give them both 1 drive, man. Just 1 drive.
That's right.
It's the Hall of Fame game. Right. It's a special. Listen, if there's a special preseason game, it's the Hall of Fame game. If there's one special they're playing in front. It's just them. They're playing in front of the whole country. Let this be the game that you put them out there. But I get to an extent why not.
Yeah, I get it. But I'd like to protect against injury.
So, but guys, that's gonna do it for today's show. Great job today. And now, guys, remember, when you come in on Tuesday, I'm not going to be here. It's Nigel Downer's game, so he's calling the plays on Tuesday. So hopefully I don't get Wally pipped or Drew Bledsoe, as we said last week. But yeah, it will be Nigel manning the ship on Tuesday. So Nigel, good luck, and I can't wait to watch.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for choosing an appointment. Yeah, thank you for choosing me to take the reins, man. We're gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna keep the ship. I'm gonna keep the ship afloat.
I appreciate it. And James Moody will be back on Tuesday. So and for anyone asking, we did add him to our group text. We have him on our group text now. We didn't need to get a WhatsApp, so he is now part of our group text. So shout out to James Moody, who's not here today. He'll be back Tuesday. So with that, last words of the day, Nigel Downer.
Oh my goodness. Listen, the rain came late night. Now it's shining outside. It's sunny. They're calling for thunderstorms later on in the evening. You know what? That's okay, because we're heading towards the end of the summer, baby. But you know what? It's a long weekend up here. And not only that, it's Caribana time. So if you in the States, yeah.
What's Caribana time mean?
Yeah, listen, we'll talk a little bit more about it on Tuesday. But
that's a group text. That's a group text. Conversation.
I don't know nothing about this. I gotta find out what this is.
Very, very quickly, Caribana is Toronto's and Canada's largest Caribbean festival. It's probably the second largest in the world, next to Carnival, which is Trinidad and Tobago, I believe. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and Brazil, I think Brazil does it too. I think.
But this one's.
I've been there a couple times for their carnival.
Yeah. So Caribana up here, we have the parade, we have floats, we have contests. That thing started like a week ago. There's contests almost every night, and you have these extravagant floats. You have amazing trucks with that are flatbeds that are just filled with speakers and peoples and DJs. You have calypso, reggaeton. You have drill trap. You have every mix of Caribbean flavor and tunes, and the foods are out of control. So it lines up our lakeshore down here in Toronto. So it's you have food tents from going as far as the States coming up, or even people in the suburbs, and the suburbs is where you get the best island foods. I want to make sure I'm inclusive because it's got all kinds of people representing Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, Barbados, all the islands, you name it. And it's wild. Not only that, we're talking millions and millions and millions of people come to this thing. America comes up heavy. Y'all represent up here. It's ridiculous. I got stories for days. I will not bore you with it, but I'll tell you this. If you can find out some footage during the weekend, wait until Sunday. There'll be footage online. Check it out. If you can make it here, come quick because hotels are already sold out. Come through. And all the stars come up, all of them. We're talking, there's a LeBron James party, I think, tonight, which is a block from my house at this place called Laval. There's a rooftop patio.
All right, Laval. Okay.
Yeah, Laval. Yeah. So all the stars come up, literally athletes, movie stars, you name it. Anybody of mostly the diverse descent or a BIPOC person of color, they're all here. And it's a wild weekend.
Sounds like I never heard of this, man. I gotta.
Caribana is amazing, dude. It's amazing for the family. It's the parade starts, I think, at 10 a.m., maybe 11, and it goes right until about 7. And at 3 o'clock, all those barricades that are keeping the floats on the road and the people away from the roads, all gone. And everybody's just on the streets with the float.
Party begins.
Yeah, you pick a float you want to roll with. You have your flag. So many flags representing. Man, it's just a colorful atmosphere for everybody. Not only people of color, but for white people, everybody. It is absolutely fantastic. Bring the family. Come down. I'll be there. It's all good.
You know what you need for it?
What?
You're going to need a new hat for it.
Oh, dog. I walked right into that and I didn't even know the answer. You said it. Trust, I got something. It's going to be great. If you're here, come through to Caribana.
There you go. I'm just be safe, have some fun. Don't get in any trouble.
Facts.
Enjoy it, my man. Last words, Caleb.
Y'all know what it is. It's a beautiful day in Southern California. There's no Caribana going on here. But sending nothing but love to the city of Toronto and my boy Nigel and all my loved ones out in that city. Y'all know how much I love Toronto. And you know what I'm saying? Spread love, baby. It's the Brooklyn way.
Yes. There you go. Guys, have a great today, a better weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday with hopefully Nigel's Caribana stories. Did I say it right, Caribana?
Yeah, you did. You did it right.
Hopefully we'll get some good Caribana stories on Tuesday. Guys, have a good weekend.
Peace.
That's the pop off for today, folks. Thank you to all of our listeners, as well as our producers, Patty Puddles and Fareed Kameo. And make sure you tune in tomorrow to hear what these hooligans will pop off about next.